Okay, so my apologies. We had a little technical difficulties there. Um, what can I say? The energy is high. you know, the energy is real high. So we back on. So I was speaking about being mentally prepared as a woman to be a mother. And I was talking about my mother had me at age 15, and she did the best she could then. But of course, young me, couldn't understand that. And I felt that I was shortchanged. And probably I was. Because again, as I said, if she was ready mentally and had that support, then things could have been different. So, as we would say, I was toting. I used to tote. I used to tote my mother. I was real toting. And on top of that, she married, right? So she had a husband, my stepfather, and I find, well, he come to take away my time. So that was more bitterness. Because I don't find I get shortchanged already, and now I'm man in the picture, right? So that caused a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. But as I said, in my older life, as I got older, we had to check myself. I said, but I'm a mother boy. I can't be toting my mother. I can't continue like that. And every time my mother and I speak, it used to be tearful. It used to be very tearful. It used to be outbursts. Because you remember, I'm angry, eh? And I said, this had to stop. This had to stop. We can only heal when we make up our minds to heal. You can't say you want to heal, but you're still holding on to that which is hurting. It doesn't work like that. You understand? Oil and water? If you realize and you recognize that, you see this thing, boy? This painful, and I have to heal from this. Now, once you acknowledge and you recognize that, that is the first step. It's like an addict. Once a drug addict says, I need help, that is the day the journey starts. But once they're in denial and they're saying, boy, nothing wrong with me, I good to go, then they cannot get any help. So once you acknowledge that you need to heal, then the healing begins. So I really didn't like what used to happen, And my mother told me she didn't have a very good relationship with her mother. I remember one time she said, there's a generation curse. I said, well, the curse go stop by me. I go break that curse. Because whilst I believe in generation curse, I also believe it can be broken. You understand? And I say, well, here what? That curse, I go break it because it would not pass on to my children. But these things come about, as I said, when we are not psychologically ready and prepared for certain things, right? It really not easy being a mother. It's not easy. What is required of you. And from time immemorial, mothers were always expected to hold it together. If you meet a young man and he get in trouble, or a young woman or anybody, this be the usual comment. Your mother ain't train you, or you hardly hear people say, your father ain't train you. It's always, your mother ain't train you, or mothers always in the spotlight. We are expected to make magic. Men doing what they want, roaming. Mothers expected to hold it together. Mothers expected to smile. That is how it is. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Right? Everybody looking out for, they in the home. Well, mommy, mothers. So, with that kind of responsibility and burden upon your shoulders, you have to be more than physically ready. You have to be more than physically ready. You must be mentally ready. And what would have caused, as I said last week, my observation is that the older women, I feel we drop the baton. We drop the ball as it pertains to holding the hands of the younger ones, the females, and guiding them, right? Nurturing them. speaking to them about motherhood, teaching them things, because we do what behaviors are learned. The way I brought up my children would be different to the way a friend of mine's brought up her children, because of what she saw in her home with her mother. And her mother would have seen, etc., etc. Right? The way we were brought up and the things we were exposed to impact on our lives, whether we like it or not. Right? There are things that my mother did that I do. And I did with my children. And I would expect my daughter, and I know I'm not a grandmother yet, but I would expect when my daughter and my son decide to have children, there are things that they would do that I pass on to them. It's natural. That is why we must be so careful as mothers to have positive impact on our children as much as possible. As much as possible. It's not a perfect world. It's not a perfect world, and a lot of people don't live in the ideal situation. It's real. But it's so important for us to positively impact on young women. And it's not just the child you make. Because again, I remember as a young girl growing up in Diego Martin, I was a real tomboy. When my mother sent me for water in the spring, I take in the whole day with one bottle of water. Because I go in and catch crab, I go in and catch warbin. I know my cocktail bouquet. When I come home, I get in licks, but it's like I didn't make up my mind for the licks. Right? As they say, GV. I don't know, many of you all ever heard that word. They went on GV. Right? I used to knock about. But I remember Miss Millicent, God rest her soul. Oh Lord, when that woman see me, Allison, your mother know what you doing in the road? Go home now. That woman like that around me. Mrs. Miller, she's still alive. Beautiful soul. Sometimes I'm going in the shop, Sometimes somebody really send me out and my mother know I'm going to the shop, but they so know how I like to knock about. Miss Allison, what you doing in the road? Your mother know you in the road? Go home now. I said, I'm trying to explain that they send me in the shop, the woman running my home. Those were the type of elders we had long time. I'm not saying we don't have them anymore. But I feel they're not as active as they should be. And probably for good reason. Because a woman tell me, no young girl ain't go cuss my clothes off my back. Me ain't taking no cuss from no young girl. I also want to believe is approach. Right? It's how you approach people. One time I saw, and let me tell you this, you know what is my pet peeve? Anytime I see, whether you're old, mother or young, with a young baby in the hot sun without umbrella, oh Lord, listen, my temperature does go up. I cannot imagine how someone could have a baby. You could see a young baby a couple months in the boiling sun without an umbrella. I don't know, I can't relate to that at all. So one time I saw this young lady and I approached her. I said, excuse me, I could tell you something, She said, I went, because they say, I know, the girl could cuss me and tell me mind my business. And she said, okay. And then I said, you don't have an umbrella? I said, look how hot the sun is, and I tried to explain to her. And the child have one way, it's called it a onesie. And them onesies are turn hot, right? And she listened to me and stuff like that. And she said, well, I don't have an umbrella, but I said, well, try and see if you could get one. See if you could buy one. If I had an umbrella, I'd give her. So a lot of times, we as the older women have to take blame is our approach, right? Plenty young women out there looking for somebody to tell them something positive. Hear what I'm telling all you. Plenty young women, plenty young mothers looking for somebody to tell them something positive. They're looking for a mother figure. Don't ever doubt that, So we as the older ones, if we could assist, right? If we assess the situation and realize we could approach the individual, do it. Do it. They say a community is what raised a child. Like how I was fortunate to have Miss Millie and Miss Miller and a good bit of them run me home when I used to be in the road, we need to bring back that. We need to bring back that, right? You know, the time does fly, right? And I watching the clock there and the time flying. At this point, I would like to recognize my sponsor for our next segment, which is coming up, the Guest Corner. I want to acknowledge Media Productions, right? Real professional for all your photography, videography, graphics. This woman is a boss. Victoria Go Voto. I take my time to pronounce the woman's name, right? Victoria Go Voto. Very professional, timely. You know, sometimes you give somebody something to do. They tell you again tomorrow and you get it 3 days after. No. Very professional. Her work is quality. All my graphics that you're seeing for this show is done by Victoria. So, we're going to go now into our Guest Corner. And that's an exciting segment. Once you go black, you'll never go back. Never. Once you go black. Okay, so welcome back. And we have with us this evening the 2020 Calypso Monarch, Miss Terri Lyons. Terri.
Hi, hello, good evening.
Thank you for coming on the Feminine Drive.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I am really, really happy to have you. I like your song, If you go black, you'll never go back. I really love that song, but my favorite is the Obia song. And I just try is watch me. I know, maybe I don't have the pitch, right? See that song? I love it too bad, right? And although the Monarch went some months, I still want to tell you congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I have never seen in my little lifetime so much people try to impersonate a monarch. Because the amount of videos I saw on Facebook, especially the Obia song.
Yes, especially the Obia song.
I have not seen that in my little time, right? And even though I wasn't singing, I would have been following Calypso. True. Because therein lies the interest. You had to be following the thing first. Right. So it says something. Yes, it says, but I am bringing here to talk too much Calypso.
No problem.
Right? All it is inevitable, but you are a mother as well, yes?
Yes, I am.
Mother of a 6-year-old son.
Yes, I am.
What's his name again?
His name is Matthias Supreme Lyons Fortune.
Matthias
Supreme
Lyons Fortune. That name has some power in it. Right? So, tell me your perspective, or your experiences rather, as a young mother. Right? When you came into motherhood, of course, I mean, I young too, but you came into it a little younger than me. So it's 2 young mothers here. Don't worry them. They dare not call me old. So tell me how that was. Your experiences, you know, the ups, the downs, you know, your challenges. And it's a real show,
Yeah.
It's a real show.
At first I was sort of like scared because this is my first.
Right.
So I'm not experienced in the sense of knowing how the pain will feel, how taut in this belly is going to be, and stuff like that. My journey was horrible.
When you say horrible,
I was so ugly.
your nose spread out all over and thing.
That?
Yeah.
I was black like this top. No, I'm telling you, people didn't recognize me. I'm talking about people that know me for years.
Right.
Like how you know me.
Right.
If you had seen me when I was pregnant.
Now you just changed, you know.
Watch now.
Oh,
I put on weight, like on my face, mostly on my face. I didn't like mirrors. I was nauseous right through my whole pregnancy. Nauseous. Not vomiting or anything like that, but just nauseous.
But you know that is the worst, right? Feeling nauseous
the
and can't
doctor
vomit.
keep telling me, no, that has just happened for the first 4 months. After 4 months, oh, it will disappear just now. 7 months. How come you said, well, try? I was like, I tried everything. Nothing is working. And I was nauseous for the whole 9 months. You understand? While being pregnant, I used to walk a lot.
Good.
Yeah, I used to walk a lot, even though my feet were like big, and nobody didn't tell me. Well, I hear this happen to some people. Nobody didn't tell me that I had to give away over 30-something pairs of shoes because my foot got a size bigger.
But
okay?
who tell you to give away shoes? So you ain't gonna make the child?
I talking about after. None of my shoes could have fit me after. I had to give away. And there were shoes that I liked.
Well, I see the shoes he wears, so I could imagine.
Yeah, so my journey, and while I was having my son, my doctor keeps sending me back home. My son was a week and a half overdue. Right, so he keeps sending me because they're waiting for this water bag to burst. Now I'm scared because I don't know how this whole thing does happen. You understand?
First experience, yeah.
I went to the bathroom, taking a shower, and I hear packs. When I look down, it's not water. I'm seeing something like a gizzard, something like that. Yes. And packs again. I was like, why gizzard dropping out of me?
It was that bad?
Yeah, and I had to get rushed to the hospital because it's, I don't know, I think it was pieces of the afterward just dropping out. So I got rushed to the hospital, and my son was born. I cried.
Of course.
Yeah, I cried, especially when they came and rubbed his hands on my face, and he stopped crying. Watch now. Let me tell you something. He was crying, and they rub his hands on my face. They come and they rub his hands on my face.
Yeah.
And he just like, I cry like a punk. I cry like my punk. And then I cry more because people thought he wasn't my child because he was white as snow and I was dark as snow.
Children, when they now born, sometimes they're very fair and you know.
My son was like,
you can't make an assessment when a child just born.
Like white. So white that he was the only baby at the time that was born in the hospital for that day. So when his grandfather and them came, I was still in the room. They came and it was like, we're here to see Terri Lyons' baby. So the nurse was like, that's him there. And I was like, no, we come to see Terri Lyons' baby. They said, that is her baby. That is her baby? Yeah. Terri Lyons, you know. They said that is the only baby that born today in the hospital. That is Terri Lyons'
Look back
baby.
and all. Next thing your grandfather saying, that is my son child. That is not hello. That is not my son child.
Was like real fear. When I'm talking about fear, like a white man kind of child. And his father and I, dark as light. It was like, so a lot of people was like,
but they wasn't there. That's not their business.
Yeah, but
because he dark. Well, look how the child is now.
Nah, but he's dark. No, he's your complexion.
Yeah. I've seen him.
Yeah. So that was the early challenges. My next challenge was I was going through some stuff in the sense of not having enough money at a time with raising my son. A lot of people don't know that.
You super blue daughter, how? No, them and nah.
Yeah, like, I just get that.
You have money?
No, I just
how
get that.
come?
But one thing about me is, I am very. I have a lot of my mother and my father in me in the sense of, we are very, we take privacy very serious.
Your private life at least.
And it doesn't mean our lives are alone. Because a lot of people sit and talk to me about their personal business, and trust me, it's a vault. Yeah,
when people trust you to speak their personal business,
it's a vault.
Yeah.
And that's me. You understand? It's so serious that even if we are not on that level anymore, trust me, what I know is what I know. Because that is not my business to speak.
Correct.
You understand, man? So I am very, serious with keeping things private.
But stick
so
up in
even
there.
though
You said you didn't have. There was a point where you didn't have enough money to take care of your son.
yes, so that's what I'm saying. So even though people,
But the last time I checked is her mother and her father. Two people come together to make a child. So what? There was a problem with the father not contributing, etc.
With every relationship,
Problem. Okay.
there are problems. Okay, and but growing up with my mom and watching the stallion, I mean, my father's surname is Lyons. My mother just move like a lion. You know what I'm saying? And I see her go way far and beyond to make sure that we don't have to ask anybody for anything. She rather do all the asking. She rather do all the going out there to get it. She always makes sure. I used to leave to go to school because I attended Nelson Street Girls RC. How much time I leave to go to school with nothing to eat? But no one in that school would ever know or knew that that was happening. Because even if I'm being offered something, I would be like, no, thanks, I'm good, I ate already, I'm full. Not knowing I'm hungry to hell.
I had some of those days too. And the thing is, people, they judge what they see. I don't know how to say this, but I think we're all guilty of this at some point. You know, for example, you just win the Monarch. So the average person, your business fix, COVID didn't affect you at all. You got to go because you just win the Monarch. You know, we sit where we are and we just work out people business based on, you know. Well, with the kind of enriching statements I just hear concerning me, I just say I want them out to take me.
Bye.
Let them out take me. The amount of money they give me, I say, well, thank you. Let them out take me. So people just work out your situation for you. So hearing you saying how much days you would have gone to school, Nelson Street girls, and gone to school hungry.
Yeah.
The average person is thinking that you're super blue daughter.
Because I know when I come back home, my mother is going to have something prepared.
She's finding something.
Yeah, but she trained us in a way that, you know, we don't have to always let people know our business. Because it's not everybody will take your business and be like, okay, I understand your situation and that's it. They will be like, oh, you could talk to me, you know, you could talk to me. And when you talk to them, by the time you turn your back, it left, right, center, yes, and she do it. But she's super blue woman and she had, and she did it. And that, my mother, not even my father. We don't have no nothing.
You know, being proud. I always hear my mother say, you could be poor, but be poor and proud. Be poor and proud. You see, I grew up knowing that. Like I would tell people, I will have my last $20 and you cannot know that unless I tell you. Because you walk the road and you project a certain energy. And, you know, I always believe that there's something I always say, the universe ain't had time with no sour looking donko sorrow individual, because that vibration that you give out is exactly what you're going to get back.
Yes.
I don't care what you're going through. Do not present yourself. In other words, don't let what on the inside show on the outside. Try hard.
And it's what in the inside does the universe does hear the most.
Exactly.
And as I always tell people, like, sometimes I'll be making a joke or I'll say something and they'll be like, no girl, don't say that universe isn't. I say I said it with this, I didn't say it with this. You understand me? A lot of people will be like, you know what? Speak it into the universe. I want this and I want that and I want this and I want that. Yeah, you're speaking it here, but you're not speaking it here. But you're not,
the meditation, as I say, the meditation
so you can speak it as much as you can. It is not going to come true. And the next thing the universe is not going to do is take any negativity request.
You see, the universe operates on balance, and as mothers we have to be careful. I believe the universe balances things out, and you're correct. So we need to put out positive vibration out there, especially where our children are concerned. The old people will tell you, don't wash your mouth on people's children.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things they used to say, and it's now we could understand. Don't wash your mouth on people's children. Even though a child might be miserable or bad or whatever, we don't always understand what caused that. Wish them well.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have nothing to do with the child or the family, hold your corner.
Hold your corner.
But don't wish people, say, don't wash your mouth on people's children, because you don't know what will happen to yours.
True.
And we couldn't understand that because we feel, well, some of us feel we live in ivory towers and we quarantine from anything happening adverse to us.
True.
Right? But if you understand the role of motherhood, being a true mother, whether biologically or otherwise, you will understand it is about nurturing. It is about lending support. Right? As I say, you don't have to give birth biologically to support.
To support, true.
If you're a true mother, you know, a mother used to say, it's a mother and it's a mother. Right? If you are a true mother, those qualities you will understand it. Listen, we are flesh, we are emotional. So sometimes your own children just get fed up on them.
Yeah.
Your own children, right? You want a little, you want a little break from them. You want a little time out. Your own children.
Nothing wrong with
that.
With headspace.
Right. That's why we have postpartum depression and that kind of thing, because some people can't deal with it. They want a little break. Tell me, Terry, as I said previous to bringing you on, I learned a lot of things from my mother and even my grandmother, right? She passed at 88 years, not too long ago, about 5 years thereabout. So I learned a lot of things from my grandmother as well. And my mother. You talk about, your mother used to move like a real lion. Super Blue had the name, but she was the actual lioness. What are some other things that you remember your mother impart to you that have you in good stead now? Because I know you don't make joke with that little boy.
I don't.
Right? Share some of the things that, because I know your mother also died at a young age, right? What are some of the things that you remember she would have passed on to you that serve you in good stead today? How you're standing up today as the lion?
One of the things my mom used to always do with my brother and I, which she takes very serious, is communication. You see, communication, she will speak the hell out of us. Get us that comfortable to know that no matter what happening to you, whether you're a young teenager, big man, big woman, you can come to me and speak to me of anything.
That's good.
You understand me? So she was very, very, very serious on communication. Being protective over us, because she never wanted us to split. But my brother lived in Canada now. My mom living down here. But she never
wanted you to split up.
I remember it had a particular time we had nowhere to go. We was on Independence Square. My brother wasn't going to school yet. I was still in Nelson Street Girls RC because I'm 7 years older than him. And while sitting there, Independence Square, I running about playing. A friend passed. She spoke to the friend. It so happened we get to sleep by that friend that night. My mom didn't sleep there because she had it in her head, that friend has a husband.
Right.
So she's not going to sleep there. If that person could just make us stay just for the night, she could come back the next day. Let me tell you something. Very early that morning, my mother was back there for us. Got me ready for school, and we walked to Nelson Street. She dropped me off. She had Devon. I don't know if she organized something during the night. You see my eyes watering already.
Don't cry,
she organized something the night, and
don't cry.
And again, yes, we stayed by somebody else the following night. But what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter the situation.
Right.
She always makes sure we never like give up. You understand? Because in cases like that, she could have like break down to an extent.
So she could have
abandoned us or anything like that. And I don't want nobody listening to this program and be like, so wait, so blah, blah, blah. My mom and my dad wasn't together at that time. Everybody have their personal problems that they go through.
Yeah.
So I reach an age where I don't blame my dad, my mom, nobody. I don't blame anybody. Because if it's one thing, as I always say, God made me go through these things for a reason. I just always tell people, my talent is not singing. My talent is my strength. Because it have things that I have been through in my life that I know if anybody else have to go through it, they would have killed themselves.
Touch my hair.
You understand me?
I always say that. There are things that I have been through. Some of them would have done book a room in sentence already going staring
so
mad.
all who may, be watching me and, either have their 2 cents to say or whatever, one thing I know for sure is that God put me in a place of peace and I'm staying there.
That's right. Peace of mind.
There.
Peace of mind.
Me? God know my heart. God know my journey. God know what I did from what I ain't do. I am very serious with things falling back on my son. You understand?
That is true. The sins of the parents. And all these things again, we grow up here and we take it for granted. The sins of the parents that fall on the children. The best, listen, there are children who are suffering today. When I mean suffering, people refuse to help them because who? That so-and-so daughter, that so-and-so son. You have nothing to do with Tina. Not for what the children did, but for what their parents did. It have people that want to have nothing to do with certain children because of their parents. Right? And sometimes you can't vex with people. They say, who? No. I want to have nothing to do with that little boy now. Or that little girl. That so-and-so daughter, that so-and-so son. And children have to innocently pay for that. So we, as parents, but for the purpose of this show, we as mothers, we must ensure that our children don't get trapped in that. The life we live on earth, when I leave this physical realm and I go back home, people must say, hey, that warrior daughter boy, who is that warrior son, and they must feel good to assist them. Not to say, who? No. Who, she mother? I don't want to have nothing to do with them children. So, we don't only live our lives for us.
True.
We have to consider our children. We have to consider our children. And I could have never imagine you went through that kind of roughness. Of course, I think, most people would know your mother and your father didn't stay together. But I still would not have imagined.
They're watching, who's my dad.
Right.
And then my mom used to do background vocals.
Right.
For,
I understand your mother was right.
Yeah.
So you're born with your voice.
Yeah, I'm born with it. But everybody goes through their secret struggles. You understand? But the greatest thing about it is my dad was always say, as much as he wasn't in my life like I wish he would have been, I am still thankful.
Of course.
I know this going on song real weird to some people, but I reach a stage in my life because I've been thinking so for years. Hence the reason why my father and I are so close. I kind of thank him for certain absence. Because I started thinking things in different ways. Like, maybe if he was present, maybe I wouldn't have been this strong.
Correct.
That's
true.
I went through that training and they say God don't give his thing to this.
He gave his strongest soldiers the hardest battles.
You understand me? So I will keep on battling. Yes, there are times that I will feel to give up. There are times that I do feel, like, oh gosh, I'm tired, I'm weary. Because I think the most times that when you just get the most set of testing is when you're trying to live in peace.
Oh yeah. But you will get to that level where even the challenges, you see it as aiding and abetting towards your development of more peace, of more self-worth, because we truly start to live when we understand self and when we accept self, so that everything else is like, by the way, it doesn't get to you. I couldn't do this program before. I couldn't do this show before. I know that. I wasn't ready. I could admit that, right? And as I boast and tell people, it could take real plenty to move me in this stage of my life. I ain't saying it wouldn't get me annoyed and certain things wouldn't get to me.
Of course, we have emotions.
Right.
You will still feel sad, get upset. but it's what you do
Right.
with that emotion.
But to the level, like before, you go take real plenty, boy.
A lot of people just ask me, why you so calm? You so, you know, it's like, you don't get vexed? I say, yeah, I do. Trust, I believe I do. But before I get vexed, I study, is it worth it?
That's another thing. And before I stray off the subject matter, remember, you have a child that is looking at you. And we have this thing we like to say, he's small, he ain't gonna understand. You see, that
they do.
is the most ignorant statement parents could make.
They do.
There's a little child, she ain't gonna,
They
she
do.
what?
But other
They
than
like
that,
sponge.
But other than that, right now, I just want to give my energy in doing what I'm supposed to do as a mother.
Correct.
For my son. Not just singing wise, but business wise, and growing up my son to be a certain way. Like if we go to bed right now and like we watch a movie and stuff, we take off the movie, I might go on my phone for a little bit and be like, Matthias, time for bed. He'll be like, oh mama, yeah. No, like if I say, Matthias, why are you not sleeping? It's like, because mama, we had to say our prayers.
Nice.
You understand me? Because we don't make joke about it. We say our prayers.
Nice.
No lie down and pray. We bruise we knees. We go down and we kneel on the side of the bed and we pray.
That's right.
You understand me? And a time when he did that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, his things has really moved you as a mother.
You understand me? Because it actually showed me that my work is actually...
Of course.
It's paying off.
Of course, of course.
And that is, to tell you the truth, that is my life work right now.
That's your greatest satisfaction.
That is my life work right now. I mean, people have companies and stuff, and my company is my son. And I want to make sure that he is good, not just for himself, but for this world.
That's right.
For somebody else's daughter.
You talk like a boss.
For life on the whole. And I just sit down and talk to my 6-year-old like if... I mean, I don't use upsy, but I speak to him and I explain things to him. I'll be like, Matthias, the reason why we cannot go outside is corona. And explain what it is.
Of course.
How it is and so forth. And sometimes if you see me going out, you say, Mama, where you going? I say, well, I have to go to the bank and I'm here. But coronavirus, why are you going out there? I say, Mom, Matthias, I just have to get some things. You say you have your hands sanitized.
No, but we
Mama,
feel children
talk
to listen. I spend a little time in the US and doing babysitting, you know. I was one of them, go for 6 months doing the babysitting, cleaning people's house, and yes, I did that. And you see how we in the Caribbean just talk to the children? Chunkalangs, but somebody write a calypso about that. There's a calypso about that, you know. Mommy nice child. There's a calypso about that. But no, seriously, the way we speak to children in the Caribbean as if they're dotish. No, there's a little child, they wouldn't understand. No, I have not seen that when I was in the US. I worked with a couple families and I have not seen that. These Caucasian people speak to their children like, hey, like an adult, they level with them.
One time. And
you would hear people saying, you know, children in the States feel the big up. They're more mature than children in the Caribbean. It's because how we culture our children. And we want to talk to them like if we feel they won't understand. They relate to their children differently.
Yeah.
So that's how they grow. I don't know why we feel children want to understand. Of course, there are certain conversations you wouldn't have with them. But explain to them why I can't do this. We don't explain. Here's hush them out, you're asking too much questions.
And that's the next thing.
That's the next thing.
The ones that actually taking the time to explain things to their kids. Don't talk at or speak at your child. Talk to them. Talk with them.
Of course, a conversation.
You know, it's a talk at you like, you can't do this because so and so. Because the third thing out there is like you're quarreling. No. Come.
Have that conversation. Let me just take a minute to say hello to everybody who is logged on the live.
Hello.
Because of the technical difficulties, I cannot see what is coming up. It's not coming up on my phone, right? But I know you're all there. And I'm saying thank you for joining us. Thank you. You know, normally I would stop and I would acknowledge certain people. Well, it's no longer... I cannot see it. But I know you seeing me, and I know you're hearing us, right? So I just want to take the time to say thanks, and I hope you're enjoying it so far. I'll get back to the comments, right? When we wind up, I will respond to you all. You know, I'll just go back and check the comments, right? So I hope you're enjoying so far. Drop your comments. Nice? Yeah. So, because you know how the time does run.
Yes.
So, we were saying that mothers, how you are, and what mold and shape you is basically your environment, right? How you grow up, a lot of things. Sometimes not necessarily in the home. External influences as well. Because a lot of people would say, well, I didn't grow up with my mother. My mother never teach me to cook. Is a neighbor I used to be going by, or my so-and-so, or my husband mother taught me to cook. Regardless, and this is what I said previously, it takes a village to raise a child. Mothers, how I grew up, I know I had plenty mothers, right? And back then you couldn't think of answering back anybody.
No.
Right?
No way.
You couldn't think of that. And they help mold me into the woman I am today. They help mold me. And that passed on to my children. I could say proudly, I never get complaints about my daughter or my son being rude children. Was anybody had to stop me in the road and say, you see that son you had there, you see that daughter? I give thanks for that. Right? Because I grow them up. Some people could say old-fashioned, but I pass on a lot of values to them.
That's what my mom did also.
So I have to say, thank God I never get them kind of complaints that mature and rude, and everybody may not have had that support, and I understand that. And that is why we cannot drop the ball. We can't drop the baton. We have to help. We have to help. Even me, and I feel good. People I consider who already adults, young women like you would come and say, Warrior, hear this now. I want to talk to you about something. Tell me what you think. I feel real good.
Yeah.
I feel real good because they recognize that they could come and ask me something and they say, girl, I want to talk to you and I want to talk to somebody. That does feel real good. Yeah. Real good. Because they don't have to come to you. They're over 18, they can do what they want. But they still see you as that person that they respect, and they could get an advice or from, and that is so good. So it's not just we being mothers to our children. I am appealing to mothers of Trinidad and Tobago, to the mature ones, the older ones. Help where you can. Nurture where you can. Mothers are faced with so much challenges. We have those who financially challenged, mentally, spiritually, help out. If you feel to give the mother the money and you feel you could give the child, you could help out. But I know for a fact we have young mothers who willing to hear from us. I know that. So we cannot sit and assume that everybody's the same thing. And I can't talk to she, and we can't sit and assume that there are a lot of mothers who really looking out for that mother figure.
Yeah, one thing that I would like all mothers to understand, young, old, and the indifference. And if you're about to have one, please, when you have your child, we as parents, we go wrong sometimes.
Oh yeah.
There is nothing wrong apologizing to your kid.
True.
My son is 6, and if I do something, I don't do nothing wrong, but like if I'm teaching him something in his work and my wires touch and I get upset, I'll be like, Matthias, come on, man. He's like,
she said she wires touch.
Yeah, my wires, sometimes my wires touch. I ain't no professional teacher.
Yeah.
So sometimes my wires will touch. I'll be like, Matthias, I just tell you the word. And then he'll be like, you screaming at me, mama, you screaming at me. And after the lesson is over and stuff, and then I will come to him and be like, Matthias, I want to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said, I just want to explain, Mama is not really a teacher, so sometimes I will get upset. But I'll do my best next time to not trip. Okay? He's like, yeah, mommy, I do like when you...
Yeah.
But parents need to understand, there's nothing wrong apologizing to somebody that is younger than you. You understand me?
True.
You're a parent. And if you want your kid to embed that same value, you have to also pass it on.
Yeah.
There are times my mom would buff me up for something. even if I'm wrong, she will still come back and speak to me about it and be like, you know what, you was wrong, but I should not have spoken about it to you in front of somebody else.
Yes.
So I'm sorry about that, but please, next time don't make. And she don't come like, I'm sorry, yeah, but no.
Yeah, then hear what? Keep your sorry.
Keep it sorry.
Keep your sorry, because
you understand,
and the children will know, right? Because I just want to plug this in. And remember, I spoke about not having a good relationship early with my mother, and I had to heal from that. And again, it speaks about what could influence us, and when we're not ready psychologically, and when we don't have the support. My daughter, she grew up with her grandparents, because back then, I remember my salary was, don't laugh, was $200. I was working in a fast food place back then, a week. So long story short, I couldn't really take care of her financially, and her parents were better off financially, and she grew up there. They made the offer to take care of her, and of course, I young and I'm moving on. I look at that as, hey, yeah, oh, right? So she grew up with the grandparents. And that put a wedge. I didn't see it at the time that it was putting a wedge between me and my daughter. I said, well, all right, I go get to do certain things, and, right, she getting financially taken care. Financial support is not all. You will hear parents say, but I get a boy all kind of thing. I give him everything. I get a... Where is everything? Children. Somebody told me something, and it's true. They say the child will hardly remember that brand name sneakers you buy, or that nice dress.
But they remember the one time you didn't come.
And they remember time that you spent with them. Right? So, in my mind, I was looking at financial what? She's to go.
She's eating every day. She's going to school.
Exactly.
She's happy.
And fast forward in the story again, it caused problems. My daughter and I don't have 100% relationship. Put it that way. We good, but we in where I think we should be. Because my daughter felt I should have been in her life more. Right? Now, I grew up with my mother, but I felt she wasn't in my life as much, because, remember, she have a husband, now she trying to... Right, so I felt she didn't give me enough attention. But my daughter didn't grow up with me. Even though I used to visit her, she by the grandmother, I would take her for weekends and stuff. She felt that I abandoned her. Right? And so, to date, as I say, we're good, but we're not where I think we should be. And it has gotten much better, right? It has gotten much better. And, it's a process, it's a healing. And I know just how I had to come to that realization and, hey, I'm a mother. And heal, I know she going through her own stuff. It's nothing that you could force, But it is so, you watch the pattern. And this is why I'm saying we have to heal as women, because we don't want that thing going on. We don't want that. And we have to heal. We have to heal from these things. That's your mother, or that's your father. As you said, you have to thank them. They were used as the vessel to bring you here.
But you have to have that mind set to understand it in that way.
You have to thank them. You have to be grateful.
I know a lot of people will be like, but your father wasn't there. And you're so close to him. I love my father to death. You hear me? Nobody can tell me nothing.
Well, we saw that the night of the Monarch.
And nobody can tell me nothing about my father. I understand. Yes, he understands. He know what he did. He know what he didn't do. We passed that stage.
Let him deal with that. Don't feel he deal with it now.
We passed that stage. This
Exactly.
is what I'm saying. We have passed that stage. And I think that is one of the reasons why we are so close, because he's watching this young girl who suppose most children will just like hate the father forever. And I am just like, that past, you are now, here, you made a way for us.
That's right.
And we're using it. And that's how I started to take. I say, you know what? My father was not wrong. But when he was not wrong, it's not to say he was saying no and scratching. he was actually chasing his dream, trying to make a name for himself, which he did, and he also make a whole highway for we to drive on.
Correct, is
so
right,
you know
yeah.
what, Terry? I still say thank God for my mercies.
Yeah.
I don't say small or big, because I could say small mercies, and that same small mercy that I call it small could be a very big one for somebody. So there's no small and big mercies.
You just have to be thankful.
I am just thankful.
So
now we just try to just have a proper, not try, I don't try anymore. We have a proper relationship. Yeah, my dad don't call me every day, but I understand that is the father I have.
That's how he is.
And
man.
I understand. He says, you know what, Terry? Your dad is Western, music, eat food till you fall asleep, music. You know what? He paved a way. He gave you a synonym which you could use.
Mm-hmm.
This is the dad you have. That God gave you that kind of father because you know the talent that you have, and he used this guy to make this way for you.
He was the avenue.
He was the avenue to make for me. So I start to understand life in a different way.
And as a mother, you cannot hate your parents, hate your father for your son to observe that energy.
That's too much energy for me.
As a mother, you can't tote that. So a lot of us may not agree with what our parents did. Listen, that is that. We have our own individual lives to look at and to build our characters and to be an example for our children. And as mothers, most we can remember, I start off saying the burden was always on mothers.
You understand?
Nobody do. Even today, they say
it's
big celebration for Mother's Day. Nobody doesn't have time at Father's Day.
Gosh, I feel sorry for that.
Yeah, them fathers will say,
A socks again.
A socks. So it was always so. Right? I watching the time. Oh gosh. I just get the finger on the wrist. So we can go on and on and on. Terry's so easy to dialogue with, and the vibe's good. Right? We can go on and on talking about motherhood, but I'll give you a little 5 minutes again because we had a little break, right? A little break. So, Terry, what advice you would give to young mothers out there? Because, on your level, what advice you would give to expectant mothers, young expectant mothers, or who already are mothers out there and facing challenges? Because you said, you would have faced challenges as well, times when you didn't have money to say about your son. So that we have many women out there like that.
Yes.
So, hey, Terry Lyons went through that too, eh?
Of course.
So don't feel you alone. What advice you will give to them?
My biggest advice is be patient. Be patient and trust the journey. You understand? Don't give up. And when you get that opportunity to actually do something with your life, save.
Save. I like that. Is the eyes there?
Save.
Save.
Because trust me, because when I was in my downtime, every little money I get, I used to do back wrongs. Well, not used to, I still do. It doesn't matter of my title or anything.
They say it was the background queen.
Yeah, I still do back wrongs. I know people thinking, well, she went the CALYPSO, so she must be doing. No, you can still call me. I still do it. You understand me? I
will call you.
You understand me? So, and those times I was doing backgrounds for $400. I would use one and put aside the three. And my son and I would eat with one because it's just both of us.
Right.
And I would put away the three and I would save and save and save. Save. I know I say, all right, I need that. So we will save for that.
Great.
And I just clamp down on certain things. And mothers, you have to understand, whether you're down or whether you're up or whether you're making good money, you still have to sacrifice something in order to gain something.
Oh yes, correct.
So in order to move forward, you have to be okay with getting rid or leaving stuff behind. Do not get yourself attached to the world, to life's what is the word I'm looking for? Life.
All the bling blings of life and things that's not so important.
Yeah.
But we will deal with that next week. Prioritizing as a mother.
Yes, it's very important.
Prioritizing.
I save for my son, I put aside money. I say, yes, get pregnant, so then I save. Nobody did tell me I could not save for a child because that money is done.
Money is done, but you had to
having
save,
children is
Yeah. In other words, how your life was before as a mother, listen, I ain't talking about whether you have a man handing your money or not.
Yeah.
How your life was as a mother before, it is not the same after. Even if you have money, even if you are the lucky ones that money was never a problem, psychologically, your life is not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah. Your life is not the same.
And please,
the time, you don't have the time for yourself. You can't do a lot of things. So money is not all. I always like to tell people that money is not all. I know people that have money and they're unhappy and miserable. So money is not all, right? So I want to thank Terri again.
Thank you.
For taking time out of busy schedule. Yeah, she real busy in this COVID time. Actually, to be honest, I find I am more busy now than before COVID.
And this is what you have
listen, I am more busy now. I refuse to submit to this kind of doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Not me. COVID have a real fight. I am not submitting to the vibes. Right? A lot of things that I had pending, I am doing. Right? And I know you're in studio and you're doing work. I saw you did something with Aaron. So, but before we go, let's sing one little line from the Obia song for me, please. Now. Alright, watch me.
Granny say, girl, you have to guard your life. Some people out there, them ain't really nice. As soon as you get a little success, they smiling with you, but inside they really vex. Watch. So you have to protect yourself and be covered. Cause your happiness to them is a bother. So they cock in the ears to hear your business. So they know how much portion they had to miss. Cause
they're walking old.
Watch them.
Hey, I really love that song. I want to thank you all for joining us on the Feminine Drive this evening. And don't miss next week. We continuing speaking about motherhood. Subject is as far as it is wide. Hold strong, all your online mothers. Hold strong. Have patience with each other. Don't frustrate them, Please, don't frustrate them. Right? Love, love, love. See you next week. Have a good week ahead. Patience. Patience. Take care.
To lift my